5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was.
I'm going to keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's going to win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious.
You know, actual fighters, some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small.
Jake Paul sent a firm message to Gervonta Davis during a live stream. He told fans that anyone doubting him is wrong because he's fully committed to his training and preparation. Paul made it clear that he's confident in his skills and believes Davis won't be able to withstand his power. According to Paul, their fight will be the moment that proves he's serious.
He would potentially kill you if you got on the ring with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Streamer Aiden Ross is confident that Jake Paul will surprise everyone against Gervonta Davis. He says people who doubt Jake simply don't understand boxing. According to Ross, Jake has shown steady improvement in every fight and now has the skills to compete with top-level boxers. He rejects the idea that Jake is just a YouTuber, pointing out that Paul has already proven himself in the ring. For Ross, this fight isn't about Davis's legacy. It's about Jake's rise. He believes Jake's focus, discipline, and determination make him a serious threat.
I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to be very surprised if Jake's not favorited on the sports betting on sports. Like all you guys saying, and all this shit. Do you guys understand that it's all about weight and shit? Like, all right, I'm going to keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's going to win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious, right? It's very, very, very obvious.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis often faces criticism not for his boxing talent, but for his lack of star power outside the ring. Many analysts say he hasn't been able to generate big excitement, even within his own division. On the other hand, Jake Paul and his brother Logan have turned hype into a business, selling millions of pay-per-views with their showmanship and ability to create must-see events. That's why Jake is bringing global attention to this fight. Critics argue that without him, Tank's brand alone wouldn't be strong enough to make it such a massive draw.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're going to do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're going to spot us some pounds. Hank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Hank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you. Apparently, boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Hank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
Shakur Stevenson, one of boxing's top technical fighters, openly criticized Gervonta Davis for taking on Jake Paul. Stevenson said it's disrespectful to the sport, arguing that Davis had plenty of better options in his own division. He pointed out that a fight with him would have solidified Tank's place as the best lightweight. Instead, Stevenson sees this matchup as nothing more than a money grab against a celebrity fighter. His frustration highlights the concern many boxing purists share. They want real championship fights, not crossover spectacles.
You got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank
disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Oladipo offered a different perspective on the matchup, pointing out that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are still in their prime. He argued that this kind of fight doesn't make sense right now. Oladipo compared it to Floyd Mayweather's exhibition with Logan Paul, which happened after both were past their peak, making it more of an entertainment event. In his view, Davis and Paul still have bigger, more meaningful fights ahead of them, and taking on a spectacle like this during their best years is a waste. He believes this clash should have been saved for later in their careers.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the number one lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered number one in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, it's done, right? Floyd versus Conor. Did he have one more after? Was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end. It was done. Right at the end. Even if it wasn't. Right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. I'm guessing he walks around about 155. Like, what? Like, Jake Paul, I've been around him. I'm 5'11". I'd say he's 6'1". Gervonta, I've been around him. I'd say he's 5'4", 5'5", max. And you know, a lot of these guys wear those big heels.
Paulie Malignaggi got heated when the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight came up in his debate with Chris Algieri. He argued that knockouts only carry weight when they're scored against real competition, not hand-picked opponents. To make his point, Paulie cited legends like Felix Trinidad and Mike Tyson, who proved their power against the best in the sport. He accused Tank of avoiding top names for years despite the lightweight and super featherweight divisions being full of talent. For Paulie, comparing this fight to Tyson's era is flat-out disrespectful, and he dismissed the matchup as nothing more than a money grab.
Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists, though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist, if he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
But by your standard, you could say that Tyson was, to a degree, manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this,
with the expense of Witherspoon.
That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you can say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about Trinidad. Trinidad is a bona fide superstar, and the way that he was, and like you said, he
stepped
fought
him up
everybody,
and he knocked out.
And he was a knockout punches. No, of course.